Oh, it's a good show.
It's always a good show.
Despite our efforts.
Otherworldlyculture.com. See you, davidstearns.com. Oh,
Yeah, get to
an
work.
umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 1991 psychological thriller Silence of the Lambs, and the 1999 hockey flick Mystery Alaska, starring Sir Anthony Hopkins, Russell Crowe, Jodie Foster, Mary McCormick, Scott Glenn, Burt Reynolds, and Lolita Jovanovic. Now two guys who grew up and still live in a small town on the outskirts of greatness. Tim Kretschmann and Jeff Miller.
Woo!
Whew, is right.
Woo! Wow, did we put together a show this week?
We did.
We did. There's stuff and things and
yes.
yeah.
And yeah. And
Yeah.
anytime you get a movie with Lolita in it is a good night.
Lolita Davidovich, right?
She is fantastic. My goodness.
She had a minute there.
No.
She had a minute.
She still has a minute and a half left.
I haven't seen her, I bet you, in 20 years.
That's okay. You can live
It was like the beginning of the 90s was her.
Yeah, you're going to get that movie next season, Played to the Bone, with Woody Harrelson and Tony
always
Van
messing
Peers.
around with bones. It's sick.
Hey,
Speaking
it's
of bones,
bad to the bone.
there's Herman.
Yeah.
We got Herman
You
over.
can't even see him.
You can see him.
Oh, I got to point.
Yeah.
I have to point to him. You
yeah,
can't.
but we can't because it's all backwards and all that stuff.
Because you're in another room.
Right. That's what we want
Anyways,
people to believe.
Yep.
Dink. All right.
That's a long. You have a long arm.
I do. Hey, we're in beautiful Muskego, Wisconsin
Yes, we are.
tonight. It is a crisp 54 degrees outside, and you are watching Dead on the Bases. I'm the Vamp.
Yep.
I love horror movies, and I assign them to my good friend, the Ump.
That's me.
That's right.
I'm Jeff Miller.
And he assigns me
Sports movies.
Because he hates me. Now, Jeff actually invented a new type of pitching machine that throws wrenches instead of balls. It's called the Patches O'Houlihan pitching machine. He did that one day.
We had that movie.
Yeah, we did.
First season, I think.
Now I get to check that one off. See?
Yeah, that's a good one though.
Yeah. So yeah, we got some great movies tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun for everybody. We do encourage the chat room to make fun of Jeff.
But why?
I got the sports movie Mystery Alaska.
Yeah.
And then Scaredy Cat over there, he got the Silence of the Lambs, a multiple Academy Award-winning movie he put up against a movie written by a guy that does TV, and there's only like one or two actors in.
I do want to address that next season. I think next season what we're going to do is we're going to get all of our 9 movies.
I think we need to have a draft.
That would be cool.
I don't know how we do it, but I think we should have a draft.
We should have a draft, or at least we should see what our picks are, and then we can sort of match them up a little better. We usually
I think this was a good matchup, actually.
Okay, well then whatever.
I don't know why you always complain about
I want to do a
stuff on
draft.
this
Should we
show.
do a draft? We should do a draft tonight.
No.
Wait, on the post game, we'll do this on the post game.
On the post
we're
game.
going to do a draft, a Halloween candy draft. It'll be 5 rounds, and we'll pick to see. Like Tim will pick a candy, and then I'll pick one. It's a Halloween. It's a Halloween candy draft. That'll be following the show tonight.
And
that will be fun.
I found out about it just like you did.
But so start thinking of some candy, Tim. I know you don't
okay.
like candy at all.
I don't. I never eat candy.
Wow.
Next season should be picked by your viewers. No, because nobody can think of a good sports movie to save their life.
No, because people will be...
No one can think of a good sports movie. They all are terrible.
They'll be like The Exorcist and
August Underground.
Yeah, and The Conjuring Part 17 and Saw Part 33 and all these movies that I don't want to watch.
Oh,
and what's that elevator one
Wouldn't
with the devil in it?
Loved Ones be good? The Loved Ones would
all
be
right,
good
anyways,
for him, right?
We should get into our
We
movies.
could get some torture porn in there. That'd be nice.
Stop it. Oh yeah, you know which one
what's
would be
that?
the worst one though?
What?
That centipede. If I start thinking about that, I'm gonna puke.
Okay, well, don't do that because you had a lot of chocolate cake.
But we had a really good supper tonight too.
We did.
Domino's.
Celebrating the world's most important day.
It is.
Yeah, my birthday.
Well, that was on Monday. But so that's the thing. It was Monday.
You see, he doesn't really care about me.
Okay, Tim, I
You all
do.
saw it.
And I told you that. So tonight was going to be a gift.
A gift.
But I forgot it at home. But it is the gift.
But
of
you
gifts.
remembered your notes tonight, so that's a step in the right direction.
I did. So I'll need those a little later on when I have to ask the question, the trivia question to win.
Yeah, you won't.
So anyways, should we get into my movie?
We should get into your movie.
We've done all of our introductions. Do people know what we're doing? I review movies that I don't really like. You review movies you don't really like, and we meet in the middle somehow. So this movie right here,
maybe.
this was a 1991 psychological thriller, like I had mentioned in the opening. It was rated R for very good reasons. It
means really, really nice. It's really, when you look at it, it's a little bit of a love story.
Okay, so it's an hour and 58 minutes. And every week we talk about the fact that horror movies should be shorter, but not in this case. This is, again, a thriller, so it's not so much a horror movie. It is. It's a perfect length. And honestly,
I've seen this movie like 8 times. I was surprised because when I think of this movie, I don't think of having a fast pace because it does let itself breathe. But it moves along pretty good.
It moves along at
a wasted time.
No, there isn't, and the 2 hours goes by pretty quick.
Yeah.
So this stars Jodie Foster and Sir Anthony Hopkins. Sir Anthony Hopkins plays Dr. Hannibal Lecter, who is a serial killer. He was a psychologist, and he ended up killing and eating his people or whatever. But anyways, Jodie Foster, she is an FBI agent wannabe. She's a recruit, and they send her to talk to Dr. Hannibal Lecter because they're looking for another character called Buffalo Bill. And this character...
Your buddy.
Yeah, no. This guy is all sorts of... I want to swear, but I'm not going to. He's all sorts of the letter F upped. He is whacked out. He is just... Oh my God. This is what you think of when you think of a serial killer. You think of this type of person. But what they need to do is they have no idea how to get to him. And he's already killed 5 people before. He skins them. And I'm not giving anything away here, but they need Anthony Hopkins' character to find him. They need him to pick the brain out, because what he'll do is he'll look at the case study and he'll be like, you know this. But as it turns out, Anthony Hopkins actually knew him because of one of his patients was involved with him.
An inpatient patient.
Yeah. What?
It was an impatient patient.
Okay. Yes. But what it is that I don't even know if that's... I don't know. Is that funny?
No, there was nothing funny
Okay.
about that.
So... But I did watch this last night.
I was just wondering what you were going to do with it, and you just let it lie.
I did.
That was good.
But you know what? I watched this movie and I watched it with the lights off. You know what? I send a picture of the movies every time when I watch these. I send them. Yeah, he's creepy also. But I send pictures to Tim and the rest of the Pittsburgh Mafia to let them know I'm watching the movie, and it's always with the lights out. It's always with Tango, my pup. But Tango actually...
Your protector.
Yeah, he fell asleep. He was bored by the movie. So
what?
Yeah, he went in the other room and he just went to sleep. So that's okay. I had to do it on my own. But this movie really ramps up. It's a really good speed because it ramps up to where she interviews him.
Okay.
And she goes to the part... I mean, let me ask you, Tim.
Yes.
How much of this can I get to without giving away too much? Or should I even? If it's 1991, but I can talk about this pretty freely, can't I?
I would say fairly freely,
Okay.
But don't give away everything like you sometimes do.
No, I'll try not to. But here's the thing.
Is everybody noticing he's twiddling his middle finger?
Yeah, like that. It's like a moth.
Who does this?
It's like a moth. It's like, let's Silence of the Lambs.
You're a freak.
Anyways, so
Oh my God.
So what happens is
I'm watching Buffalo Bill on the screen, and I'm looking at Jeff and going, "You're a freak."
That's not even the right. That's not right.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Anyway, see, and you know why I know that? Because I did watch the movie.
Yes,
I
you
don't
did.
mail this stuff in. So they go to Anthony Hopkins and they're like, "Hey, we'll let you out of this cell," which was creepy. It was in a cell with a glass in front of him. I couldn't imagine living in there, but he has now for 7 years. There's like, if you help us find Buffalo
he's
Bill.
an actor.
I know.
Okay.
But he said if you help us find Buffalo Bill before he kills his next victim, we'll let you go to this like almost like a country club type of prison where you can walk in the sand at. But you know what?
We'll let you go to Wisconsin.
No.
You can commit crimes in Wisconsin and never have to go anywhere.
And it was all a ruse, but he did get out of that prison cell and they put him in another holding facility, which is really weird. You know what it reminded me of? The cage that he was in. It reminded me of
a big bird cage.
Did you see the movie Wild Wild West with
yes.
That's what Selma Hayek was in. Do you remember seeing that?
Yes.
That's what I thought of. I was hoping I was going to see Selma, but it was just Anthony Hopkins in there, and oh my God, what happens?
He had killed Selma earlier.
What happened? Yeah, what happens in that cell it's incredible because they say that he's so very dangerous,
and
you're like, how can he be that dangerous? But he is.
You find out.
But you find out.
You find out. What's great about that scene is throughout the movie, they're telling you this guy is so dangerous, so bad.
Yep.
And you're like, yeah, well,
don't get close to him.
He's under 500 feet of concrete.
Yep.
You got him behind plexiglass. What the hell can this guy do? He can do stuff.
Yeah, he can do stuff because he's just that smart. And they said don't talk to him about personal stuff because it'll get in your head.
Which, of course, what does Jodie Foster
Very
then
first
do?
thing she does right away.
Oh, by the way, want to hear about my family? I mean, right?
She didn't listen at all.
No.
But it wasn't her.
Just like a woman.
But it wasn't her fault that he got away.
He actually wasn't misogynistic. Did you notice?
No.
At no point.
No.
Did he say they sent a female, agent?
No.
Because this movie really pushes the sexism thing and how little Jodie Foster is compared to regular human beings.
But it does. And then what happens is she gets closer and closer to finding Buffalo Bill, okay?
Buff man. He goes by the Buff man.
Yeah. But Scott Glenn, who plays Jack Crawford, her boss, has different ideas of this. And I think he's looking for more of the glory, and I think he
wants to bone Jodie Foster.
Right, that was brought up.
Absolutely wants to do her legs over his shoulders. That's what he's looking to do.
Tim.
I'm just telling you.
Tim, but yet they follow some other lead to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really. It seems like he wants to do that. He wants to have relations with Jodie, but he doesn't really. I don't think he really respects her because he doesn't really listen to what she has to say. That's what That's what I got from this.
I don't know that he disregards her, but he's got a really hot lead. That's what he's going to follow is the hot lead. She doesn't think she has a hot lead. If she would have had the choice, she would have got on the plane and joined him. But if you remember,
I do remember.
It's because she was sitting there and she's twiddling her thumbs and you go, "No, wait a minute."
But she figured it out.
And then, woo, and she has her Columbo moment.
But you have to admit though.
And just one more thing. That's my Columbo.
That's pretty good.
I thought so.
You have to help me out with a few scenes in here where I thought I found some holes in it. And it's not.
Did they score a basket when you weren't looking? Is that what happened?
So when Jodie Foster first goes down to see Anthony Hopkins,
yeah, he does.
There's a crazy guy that has some
Syphilis Sam. He goes by.
What?
Syphilis Sam.
Well, then that's why he threw his.
He's very impressive.
He threw some liquid on her.
Okay.
And Anthony was not happy that she did this.
What?
He did this.
Wait. Throws some liquid on her?
Yeah, well, I can't say that.
Well, that's what she came for.
Okay, she did not come for that.
Okay.
But she got that thrown on her. So, like, if you're in a zoo, a monkey throws crap on you, okay? You're in a prison cell with all men, and this guy is a sex maniac, so you can just about figure what he threw onto her.
Yeah.
But Anthony Hopkins didn't like this. But we find out that Anthony Hopkins killed him?
Yeah.
How? They're both in separate cells.
He's a
How did he get
psychological? The thing that they infer is that he keeps whispering to this lunatic to the point where he kills himself.
Is that really what it was?
Yeah.
Wow.
He supposedly swallows his own tongue, which I don't know if that's possible, but you can talk somebody to the point where they want to knock themselves off.
That's something else.
It happens here every Thursday, folks.
What do we do? Anyways, okay, so that was actually the biggest hole. The other hole I can't really talk about because it will spoil the ending, but that helps me a lot.
Were you scared?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was scared, but not like Collector scared and not like Conjuring scared. Those are my oh Jesus. Those are my benchmarks for being scared.
Yeah.
Are those two movies right there. This was scary on a different
You know what?
This is psychological skill.
I feel the reason this movie is as scary as it is that you're 100% in there.
Yes.
With Jodie Foster.
Yep.
And she registers the fear. A lot like the boy in Poltergeist is so good at being scared of that clown. You feel for him almost immediately. With Clarice, you're like, she is all alone, and there is Mr. Psycho Face is running around. And by that time, you know how Psycho Face is.
So you know what? I can probably ask this about the final scene, and it won't give anything away. Okay?
We'll see.
No, it won't. I promise you it won't.
Hold on, I'm getting ready for the
dump button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where? Nope, not that.
No, that's coming up.
But yeah, that's coming.
So.
Where is my?
She's down there. She's down in the basement of Buffalo Bill's pad. All right.
Yes.
Okay. I don't care who you are. There's a lot of doors and a lot of rooms in that freaking basement.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you look at the house. I mean, how did you have that made? Why?
Pittsburgh.
I heard about that too.
Yeah.
But
parts of it were shot in Pittsburgh. I'm not sure about that one.
But
it's Ohio, I think.
But see, there's a lot of rooms to this basement. And
you know what I thought? I'll tell you my theory.
But okay.
That I mean the place where he holds his victim.
Yes.
I thought that was the bottom of a silo, like for a farm, and that they built the farmhouse on top of where a silo once was.
Oh.
And I thought, this is one of those old farmhouses where there's all sorts of weird crap in the basement.
But what I have, and you'll help me
and
out.
It gets weirder because there's swastikas.
Yep.
There's all sorts of nutso stuff in that basement of his.
But the question I have, and I don't think we can give
I've never noticed the swastikas before watching it this time.
Really?
Yeah.
I know some right away.
Yeah.
But anyways, why do you think he didn't? She went down there, and obviously this is I'll use a sports term. It was his home field, okay? So he knew which rooms went where and all that.
Right.
Why do you think when she went down there and she started going around, why didn't he leave? Why do you think he didn't leave?
He was going to kill her. He's a nut. Did you not pick up on that?
I know, but why wouldn't you just run away and get the hell out of there?
Because she's a hero.
Well, she's a hero. I'm saying why
didn't he?
That's what I'm saying.
Because he was going to kill her and then nobody would know. If he allows her to live, she's going to tell everybody where he's living, and then he's caught. But if he kills her, maybe nobody else figures it out.
What if?
In fact, he figured it out that there was nobody coming for her. You could tell he was like, well,
right,
whatever.
But couldn't he have left, jumped in his car, and just took off? I'm just saying, this is what I'm thinking.
Well, first, if he goes in his van, first he has to put the cast on.
That's a hell of a scene. I'm watching that scene where he abducts that woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that it has to happen because where is this movie going? Yeah. And I'm like, don't help him. I'm like, I don't think I would help him. And just the way he did it, she got in there. He goes, oh, here, get inside so I can get the couch inside.
Is she a big fat person?
Yeah. Are you size 14? What if she wasn't? Would he have just tossed her out?
I don't know.
Because when I saw that tag, I'm like, maybe she won't be a 14. She was a 14.
Well, he's a good tailor.
Yeah. So this movie was. There's a nice little ending to it. Are you ready? But I did like this movie.
Okay.
I did.
Even though it scared you a lot.
It didn't scare me a lot. It scared
didn't.
On a scale of 1 to 10, scary.
Yeah.
8. That's my scare level.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, I'll
now, okay. Here's the question I like to ask people about Silence of the Lambs.
Ask me.
Because I'm afraid you might back into the answer. Who is the villain? Lecter or Buffalo Bill?
Who's the villain?
Yeah. Who is the scarier bad guy?
Oh, that way? Lecter is.
Yeah.
Lecter's freaking scary as hell.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, with Bill,
and
with
he
Buffalo
had something
Bill,
like, what is it, 22 minutes of screen time or something?
I don't know,
It's
but
ridiculously.
Buffalo Bill, you know what you're getting. You know that this guy's a nut job, but Lecter is that scary kind of smart.
Yep.
That you don't know where he's coming from. He says he's not coming after Jodie
That's
Foster.
why people are afraid of me. I'm so smart.
I believe that he's not going after Jodie Foster, but I don't know how she'd be able to sleep at night, Clarice, because I'd always be thinking about that. But yes, I did like this movie because it had a story. It wasn't like The Collector. It wasn't like The Conjuring, where I just did. Or like, how about that? What was that movie in that shopping mall? That was, come on, that was nothing. What, Night of the Living Dead?
Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right.
DOTD.
Why don't you score this thing? Score it.
We don't do half points.
Oh,
I got it. You know what? I'm going to give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
I am shocked.
It was a good story.
I was afraid you were going to be, this is a 2. I hated it. It was too scary.
How can you hate an Academy Award winner? I mean,
it really is. You can see why this movie got Academy Awards.
Okay, this got an Academy Award. Collector did not. There you go. Apples to oranges. This was a story.
This got an Academy Award in a decade where I think there was only one other movie that was not a period piece won an Academy Award.
What do you mean by that?
By being in olden days.
What does that mean?
You know, like a Revolutionary War movie or
I
that
see.
sort of thing. It was a contemporary film.
Like
and
White Men Can't Jump.
They were not giving Academy Awards to movies that were contemporary. Did everybody see my shirt, Mr. Merch over here?
Do you see my shirt?
Yeah.
Muskego High School.
Woo!
They won last week.
Did they?
Okay, so I gave it an 8.
You did, and that means it's time for your special section of the show. And I got to press this button, and something will happen. There we go. It's OWC Sports.
You know what?
What do you want?
I want some sort of intro music. I'll come up with it for you.
Hold on.
No.
I got it right here.
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, that I'll take. No, I'll come up with
I
something
got
else.
a couple like mini themes in there.
I like that, but
you want to have like a theme thing.
I'll come up with it for you.
Yeah, well, it's got to.
You can't have any copyright because we're
exactly.
Screw the copyright.
Exactly.
Live on the edge, Tim.
Those bastards.
All right, so the Bucks won last night. They defeated the. Who did they defeat last night?
I would say the opposing team.
No, they beat.
I knew that.
They beat the Nets 110 to 99. Giannis
beat the Nets?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Brooklyn.
Oh.
Durant. Giannis had. I do not want that. Yeah. I promise you, I do not want that.
You're sure?
Yes.
Okay.
They beat the Nets.
Giannis
dropped 45 points. The Bucks are the only team in the
He dropped a ball and got 45 points?
The Bucks are the only team in the NBA right now that are undefeated at 3-0.
There's only been 3 games?
Yep. They play again.
I didn't know it even started yet.
They play again tomorrow night where they host the Knicks.
Wow.
The Admirals also, the Milwaukee Admirals, the AHL team, play tomorrow night as well. They are 2-2 on the young season, and they play the Belleville Senators.
The isn't that a loony bin?
It could
Bellevue.
be.
Bellevue.
Belleville.
Okay. All right.
Green Bay Packer news.
Yeah.
God, I got something in my.
Oh my God! I've been listening to this for 45 minutes now.
Packers lost again last weekend to the Commanders. Oh, that was a tough loss. The Packers are now at 3-4, and they play. Get this, Tim. This is perfect for tonight.
Okay.
They play Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Against the 5-1 Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
How do we tie all this together?
That's scary.
Maybe Aaron will have to put the lotion in the basket. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what else is scary?
What?
There it is.
Yeah, that's next.
Well, hold on. You're going to talk about the Brewers? Let me just put that up right away.
It won't happen.
Okay.
It's not happening tonight. But tonight, what we're up against the 4-3 Baltimore Ravens have traveled to Tampa Bay to take on the 3-4 Buccaneers, where Tom Brady has been struggling.
Buccaneers.
So you know what? Those are two mediocre teams. You should be watching us.
That's right.
Now, baseball news.
Baseball.
First, the Brewers.
Okay.
David Stearns is no longer the GM of the Milwaukee Brewers. That should come to no surprise because he had an out in his contract this year that if the Brewers didn't make it to the World Series, he could opt out of his contract. In his press conference, he said that he is staying in Milwaukee, which is a joke. He will be the new GM of the New York Mets before next season. Mark my words.
Okay.
But
I'm marking the word.
But for Jeff Miller,
Jazzy
this
Jeff.
is probably the most fun part of the season for me. This is Fall Classic time.
When people lose their jobs, is that your favorite time?
No, this is
Fall Classic. What's
Yeah.
the Fall Classic?
World Series time.
Wait, there's going to be a World Series this year?
The 118th edition of the Fall Classic takes place tomorrow night in Houston, where the Philadelphia Phillies, a wild card team that edged out the Brewers, will be taking on the powerhouse Houston Astros. And then, but if the Astros are definitely favorites to win this series, Jason Verlander will go up against Zach Wheeler in Game 1. A big key to this will be Jose Altuve, who is 0-25 in the playoffs right now. But here's the tidbit that I'm really proud of.
Okay.
Philadelphia.
Oh, it's on a separate page, everybody, in case you didn't see that move.
I don't have a little teleprompter here. So
Yeah.
the Philadelphia Phillies, since they've been around since 1883, they've been to 8 World Series and they've won 2 of them.
Okay.
They've gone to the 1915 World Series, the 1950, the 1980, the 1983, the 1993, the 2008, the 2009, and the 2022 World Series, and they won the 1980 and the 1908. Or not the 1908, the 2008.
1908?
2008 had Brewer Jeff
They
Jenkins
didn't even
on.
have spheres back in 1908.
No, they threw up cubes like Rubik's
Yeah.
cubes. But the 2008 Phillies had Jeff Jenkins on the team, and as you remember, he was a Brewer, and they edged out the Brewers in the wild card game.
Wow.
The Astros, on the other hand, have been around since 1962. They've been to 5 World Series: 2005, 2017, 2019, 2021, and 2022, and they have 1 World Series win in 2017. So it'll be interesting to see if they get their second one, if the Phillies get their third one. And, that's so, I mean, pretty much a team that's been around since 1800 has been to 1 extra World Series, has won 1 extra World Series than the Astros.
There you go.
There you go. Why do I have a penalty flag?
Same
I don't
reason
like that. I really don't.
You really don't like that?
But here it is.
Thank you.
I got to finish out strong here.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff Miller, and that's the sports I know.
We'll just let that be. The other thing we got to remind everybody, we are only 126
Yes.
days. It's like we're in emergency mode now.
Horror.
126 days to Horror Realm. Still don't have the 2023 date on there.
What? You just had it? Oh, no. Well, it's the 3rd to the 5th.
Yeah, it's the 3rd through the 5th. And Jeff and Tim will be there for the 3rd through the 4th. And,
What day will be there?
probably Trogdor. What?
He's going.
He's going.
He's heard of how much fun we have.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be an addict. He'll be an addict.
Oh yeah, he'll be having his own horror room.
We also have a very important announcement about horror room.
Yes, I can't wait. What is it?
I'm good. I've told you. You forgot. What room are we in?
Oh, yep.
We're in the big room.
You bet we are. We're in the ballroom.
We're in the big room.
We were in there the first year.
Yeah.
And then we helped out.
And then you were kicked out because you were annoying customers.
But I'm going to be annoying again this year. You bet. Give me another chance, baby. No, but it's fun being in that main room, Tim.
Yeah, it's
everybody's
fun.
whipping around. It's a good time. And you know what? We will see Tom Savini, and I'll have my picture with him, and we'll put it up here next year.
If you recognize him.
I think what I'm going to do is little Tom Savini, I'm going to press him.
A little Tom Savini goes a long way.
I'm going to press him. You're going to take a picture of me pressing him like this above my head.
He'll be impressed. All right. It is time for my review
of...
what the hell was even the name of this
You know what? Mystery Alaska.
Mystery Alaska. Where
are the clips?
Do you mind?
Oh, like you never...
It's my part of the show. I always quietly listen to your part of the show.
Oh, hi, everyone. Hi.
What are you doing? Oh, hey. Hey, Exler. You made it in time for me to talk about a boring sports movie. 1999's Mystery Alaska. This was directed by Jay Roach, who is known for directing all the Austin Power movies so far. In fact, he's set to direct Austin Powers 4. They're working on doing another Austin... Yeah, the Quattro.
It's going to be done in Spanish.
Yes, and they'll be throwing wrenches at Austin Powers. What's the plot of this movie? So it's a tiny town. It's a tiny... What?
It's a tiny town like Muskego. Have a little respect.
Yeah. It's this tiny town. It's called Mystery Alaska. That's the name of the film. And they are a hockey town. Every Saturday, they play hockey. And they play it the old-fashioned way where there's a couple ritual killings. And then they... No? Okay. But they play against themselves. So, yes, everybody in Mystery Alaska plays with themselves. And they play hockey every Saturday... And they're really good, and they're on like a pond.
Yes,
is where they're
pond hockey.
They're playing the game, and a guy that used to live there, played by Hank Azaria, he goes off and he gets a job at Sports Illustrated, and he says, "My hometown of Mystery, Alaska, those guys are so good at hockey they could take on an NHL team." The New York Rangers go, "Oh yeah!" And they challenge him. Okay? That's your premise of the movie. What makes the movie work is some of the wonderful characters they have in the film. Unlike White Men Can't Jump, where I did not care about the characters at all. Some people do, but I hated them. This movie, I loved the characters. I cared about these characters. I liked them a lot. They're people I would like to meet. So when the big game happens, which, believe it or not, there is a big game at the end of the sports movie, I actually care how it turned out. Now, because I'm going to be talking about some of these characters, I thought I'd jump ahead to the portion everybody loves, the horror movie connections.
What? You're skipping a lot, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to come back to it, but I wanted to talk about some of the actors. Because this has a huge freaking cast.
I know. That's why I gave it to you.
Real. Now, first of all, when we do horror movie connections, the first thing is, at one point, they talk to the judge's daughter in her bedroom, and there is a ginormous Scream 2 poster on the wall. So, obviously, this girl, at least, has a little bit of common sense. Then, there's the writer, David E. Kelly. Now, he's the guy that created L.A. Law. Yeah. He did a lot of legal shows. But he also wrote Lake Placid 1 and 2, the big alligator films. And he created a show that's on the air right now that I consider a horror show. It's called Big Sky. Have you heard of this?
I watch it every week.
It's great.
It's great.
It's
but,
fantastic.
But
yeah,
I think anybody who's watched it will admit that season 1
was much better.
Than all this. But to watch, what's her name, Catherine Winnick in this. That's the only reason I watch it.
Yeah, she's great.
She's fantastic.
She's great.
So I'm watching Vikings.
They've gone down this rabbit hole. You know, anytime you're adapting a bunch of novels here, at some point you're going to have to switch out villains because you start losing them as you start knocking them off. You know, and that's the problem with Big Sky. They had a great villain.
Season 1 is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would say watch the first season, and you can probably get it up.
You could probably forget the rest, but season 1 is fantastic.
Fantastic. Now,
sorry,
Russell Crowe.
Gladiator.
Right. But did you know he had some horror films in his background?
No.
He did. Now, he's in 2019's Unhinged that is still out on streaming all over the place. I'm told that's basically a horror movie. It's like a guy stalking a woman with road rage or something going on. But he also played a horror villain in a Denzel Washington movie called Virtuosity. You ever see it? He's basically... it's kind of like an action thriller type thing, but he's like a criminal AI. He's like the ultimate villain, and he comes to life from a computer. Yeah, it's a weird movie, but weird. But he's basically like a serial killer, murderer, monster type of person. So it's interesting, and I think it's like Russell Crowe's like third movie or something. It's very early in his career. But the real horror credit he has on the list is he played Dr. Jekyll in the incredibly awful Tom Cruise 2017 The Mummy. That was when they thought they were going to reboot all the Universal monster movies, and they were going to call something called Dark Universe. And what it ended up being is horrific. But Russell Crowe was supposed to be kind of the Samuel L. Jackson to the Marvel universe. He was going to be Dr. Jekyll, was the guy that was going to collect all these monsters and start the League of Monsters or something.
Oh, okay.
So, but that movie was a huge disappointment. And they never made another one. Now, Hank Azaria, who I mentioned earlier.
Simpsons.
He's well known for The Simpsons. He does like half the voices, I think.
Aren't you impressed how much I know?
Yeah. And he can see all the way over to my notes.
I didn't even look at Simpsons up there.
But Hank Azaria.
Damn it.
Hank Azaria
I didn't look at
did play a reporter in Godzilla, the 1998 Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
I saw that.
That one I knew off the top of my head. I have to admit, Russell Crowe, I had to do some searching because I was like, did he? And then I found The Mummy. I went, oh yeah, because that movie sucked. Mary McCormick was in 1408. That's a Stephen King movie. Colm Meaney. That's the guy that you know from Star Trek. He was O'Brien. The Next Generation. He did an episode of Tales from the Dark Side early in his career. Now, at this point, I was doing my research, and I'm like, my God, am I going to find one for all of these people? Listen, I just started going down the list, and I'm like, I'll stop when I get somebody that doesn't have a horror credit. So then I go to Lolita Davidovich,
yes,
right? And she was hot at the time of this thing.
She still is.
She did a Friday the 13th TV series episode in 1989.
Oh,
I'm
my God.
Okay, next. Maury Chaykin. Now, Maury Chaykin, he's the gentleman that dies in the film. Mm-hmm. He's the older lawyer. He's my favorite iteration of Nero Wolfe. He was very good in that TV series. But this guy was in Hunt for the BTK Killer, which I have not seen. But I did remember this one. Early on in his career, he was in Of Unknown Origin, a film you'll be getting to watch at some point. It's a giant rat movie. It's pretty good.
I can't handle rats.
Yeah, you'll probably you'll probably not like it, but I'll give it to you.
But I don't care.
I'll give it to you anyway. Ron Eldard. Now, this is the guy that played Skank. He's best known for being in the movie Drop Dead Fred as the new boyfriend Mickey, who's a complete gal. Those that know Drop Dead Fred are like, oh, that's perfect.
No idea.
Including Trogdor. He'll be making a mention of this.
He just said yes.
Yep. But he was in Super 8, which is kind of a sci-fi slash horror. But he was also in Ghost Ship. So again, we got another horror credit. Okay, let's keep going. Ryan Northcutt. Okay? Ryan Northcutt played Wyatt Earp on Wynonna Earp, which is a demon hunting TV series. Okay, next one. Kevin Durand. Now, Kevin Durand is the big giant guy they call Tree in the movie.
Yeah.
This guy has been in a ton of stuff. This is another one of the guys that I saw him. I know there's horror credits on him.
That's something.
Because he was one of the leads on the TV series The Strain, which is my favorite vampire TV series. He has been in the last 2 seasons of Lock and Key, which is made by Joe Hill. Stephen King's son wrote that TV series. He's been on the Swamp Thing TV series. He's been in Resident Evil Retribution, Dead Zone television series, and The Outer Limits in 2000. But he's a big, huge guy. You know, you put a mask on him and you go, he's a monster. So he's very, very good. So I'm like, okay, let's keep going. Then we got the little redhead guy, Scott Grimes, right?
He wasn't anything.
He looks, nice, clean-cut guy.
You didn't find anything on him.
He probably has some of the biggest...
Seriously?
Now, most recently, you've seen him on The Orville. He's on that show lately. But in 1985, he did a Twilight Zone episode. Big deal. But he started his career... He was the lead in Critters 1 and in Critters 2. And a lot of people consider Critters 2 even better than Critters 1. I'm not in that camp, but those are 2 pretty big 80s horror movies. He was the kid that was being chased by the critters. So I'm like, okay, let's keep going. So then we have Jason Gray Stanford. You may not have even recognized him, but he plays the lackey Disher in Monk. He's kind of like the secondary cop that's always there. That's kind of, that guy. He did a voice in the animated Mighty Kong. It was in an episode of the Outer Limits reboot series.
Oh my God,
like everybody else that lives in Canada. It's amazing.
Tim.
So then I go, all right, I got to stop this. This is way too many. Let's check Michael McKean. Now, Michael McKean, is Lenny of Lenny and Squiggy, right? And he gets his foot shot off in this thing. He can't be in a horror movie, right? No way. He's in a video of Casper, A Spirited Beginning. But I'm not counting it. He has no horror credits. We got to be done with this sequence.
Wow.
Literally running out of people. And let's keep in mind, we had Burt Reynolds in there.
Yes, we did.
Who is a Hall of Famer for our show. He's been on a number of times. He did Cannonball Run and Longest Yard have both been shown on here. And he, of course, had the horror movie Deliverance in his background, 2002 X-Files movie, the original Twilight Zone, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Would you consider Deliverance a horror movie?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't want that happening to me.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, isn't it more like a...
It's a thriller.
Adventure?
It's sometimes the line between thriller and horror is a tough line.
Yep, okay,
because,
I get you.
like, Basic Instinct, horror movie or thriller?
Thriller. Because I guarantee you, if it was a horror movie, I would never want to see it.
She boils animals at the end.
Wait, are you thinking of...
Glenn Close.
Yeah, you said Basic Instinct.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're thinking of...
I'm thinking of... oh, Jesus.
Something with a divorce or...
yeah.
Annette Bening's in there.
Oh, my God. Chat room, help
Fatal
us.
Attraction. There you go.
Fatal Attraction.
You don't need a chat room. You got me.
But Basic Instinct.
That's a thriller. That's not horror.
I just want to think about Sharon Stone.
Okay, all right.
All right, anyway.
Get into your...
She was cute at that time. Anyway.
She was. A lot of these
back into
actresses
this.
were cute at that time until they go screwing themselves up.
You send those emails to Jeff.
Pam Anderson, when she was on Tool Time, was way more prettier than she is now.
That's called age.
Okay, she's way more prettier than she was in Barbed Wire.
I keep getting prettier.
Okay.
Like on my birthday when I turned 812.
12.
Yeah. I am looking the best I've ever looked.
Pam Anderson is better looking in Tool Time than she was in Barbed Wire. We'll just go that route.
Yeah.
Way better. It's just, I don't know.
She had more accoutrement by the time.
I don't know that.
She had more things fastened to her body by the time she made that.
All right, back onto your review.
Okay, so there's some nice comic turns by a few of the actors.
Yeah.
It's predominantly TV actors in the cast, and it's very Canadian because, as I said, I found Outer Limits on a lot of these. It seems like Canada, Outer Limits was going to end up in your resume. It's kind of like today, if you're a Canadian actor, you're going to do a Hallmark movie. You're going to be in a Hallmark movie. So back then, it was those. Now, this movie, 2 hours long.
I know what you're going to probably say.
It moved fairly well along. It kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought the final game was too long, which I always think the final game's too long. But I did enjoy, at one point, somebody holds a sign up at the game that made me laugh out loud. It said, "Skank, I'm pregnant." Because he was screwing everything that wasn't screwed down already.
Were you?
And a few things that were.
Were you? Can we talk about the end of this movie?
No.
Okay. But were you? Well, we can talk. I can ask you a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at the ending?
Not entirely.
Really?
Not entirely.
Oh my God! All right, I was completely surprised.
I was pleased at the ending.
No, I'm not talking the very ending. I'm talking the
result of the game.
Yeah.
Oh
my God! I was so surprised.
Now,
I was so surprised.
One thing I will say, as with most of your sports movies, it needed a little more murder, but
someone did die.
There was someone that dies and somebody that had their foot shot. So it did do pretty good on the old violence meter. The hockey players was interesting to me because I think they were probably actual New York Rangers.
No.
They weren't.
They were not.
Okay, then that makes more sense because they were kind of nameless.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, these are just the guy. I mean, they virtually didn't show their faces.
They didn't. The New York Rangers did not want to do this. They went to them.
But then pick a different team.
I don't know why they went with that, but the New York Rangers, they wanted to have some of them on there, and they all just said, no, I don't want to do it. How can you not want to do something?
It's like the actual story of the movie. Now, Azaria's character, I thought would be a very comic character. First of all, because Azaria is a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't given anything to work with here. He should have been like the Harold Hill type. Do you know what I'm referring to?
No, I do not.
You ever see the music called The Music Man?
No.
Okay. It's about a con artist that goes to a town and he's got everybody spinning and he's just constantly, running a little con on this person and con on that
person. Is it a good movie?
It's probably my favorite musical. Azaria's character could have been that, where he's constantly pitting somebody against another and doing all this fun stuff. And he's really kind of a hapless little loser going through here. In fact, that's what I'll say about this movie. This is a movie that could have went over the top, all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place. It could have went over the top. And they kind of played everything down. They wanted to make this seem more real. I probably would have preferred more of a Bad News Bears, more of a, over the top thing. I like this movie more than our first movie this season, the Men with Brooms.
Yeah. You like this more than Men with Brooms?
Yeah.
Really?
This is a very nice, sweet movie. There is some decent scenery because it is in Alaska. That's nice. But if you go into it and you're like, this is going to be a raunchy, funny no, this is not slap shot. This is not, it just isn't.
This isn't Goon.
Yeah, it isn't anything like that. Like even the Priceland guy or, Michael McLeod, when he gets shot, okay, I thought, oh, this is going to be a story. It's all going to be about Priceland trying to get in there and, story just disappears. And we're done with that story at some point. And I'm like, it seemed like, and this is true of the whole movie, it seems like they let it right up to the net. They waved off the play, and they didn't score that touchdown, and they ended up in a technical foul off the ropes.
Here we go.
It's like they just...
Tim getting everything mixed up.
They were almost there. It's like they're in scoring position, and they just don't make it. So I guess I like the idea of what this movie could have been. Mm-hmm. It wasn't quite that, but I have to enjoy it for what it actually was. So I'm going to grade it. What number do you think I'm going to grade it?
Well, you did give it more, like, it felt better about it than I thought you were going to. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be, you're going to, a 6 or a 7, 6.5, 6 or a 7.
I'm going to say it's a 7.
Oh, all right.
I was actually debating between 7 and 8.
Ooh! Nice.
But I decided against 8 because I laughed out loud like once.
Oh, if you laughed more?
It felt like it wanted to be a comedy. The one thing that is funny is, Skank's sign made me laugh really good. But the other thing is Little Richard was fantastic. That is a great, the whole little sequence there of welcoming the New York Rangers to the game, that ran really well.
Did you catch the goof that was in there that they goofed up on? Little Richard sang the national anthem, and then you can hear him singing the Canadian national anthem, but they're playing in New York Rangers.
What do you mean?
And they're playing in Alaska, which is the United States.
Yeah. You say that wasn't an error, though. They actually mentioned that in the movie. They're like, why is he singing the Canadian national anthem? You know why he did.
Yeah.
Because it's longer.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted to do that.
Well, forget I even said it.
But yeah, they actually did mention it.
I must have missed that because I thought they goofed up.
No, well, I had the surround sound going. There was some dude behind me.
Well, see, then he gets that.
It was cool.
But I just want to mention one quick thing.
You gotta love surround sound. Something like this. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
This is pretty cool.
I'm gonna get a touchdown.
I've heard about this before, but I didn't know that this was the reason why Mystery Alaska. Yeah. But the movie is loosely based on the 1905 Stanley Cup game between Dawson City Nuggets and the Ottawa Senators. It's a pretty interesting story that I didn't know back in the day. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But if you get a chance to ever look that up, it's a very interesting story on how this team had to travel to play the Canadian team. The Senators had to travel through the wilderness and getting there. And I mean, it's 1905. I mean, they didn't have the transportation like we have now. It's a really interesting story. So if you ever get a chance, look it up.
That's actually how the Harlem Globetrotters got started.
Yes, it's exactly how they got
started. I know lots of things. All right. We are going to get to that part of the show that is the audience participation part of the program.
So we have to turn this
and
off,
that will be the trivia. Yeah, I know.
I'm never annoying.
You're never annoying. Never. Okay. Oh, I'll just put this up. Then you don't see it. Okay.
Oh, and I put that up.
So, yeah, that works. All right. We have turned off our...
I didn't do that.
You did too.
How? I don't have any
controls. Did you reach over here?
I should have controls over here.
No. That would be a bad idea.
That'd be awesome.
Be a bad idea. Okay, the way trivia works. Jeff is going to read 3 statements. I'm going to guess which one is untrue. Then I'm going to read 3 and guess which is untrue. If we get it correct, it's 5 points. Go ahead, Jeff. You're ready to go.
You sound like a game show host when you do that. It's 5 points.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
No, that doesn't sound like anything. All right. So.
Hurtful. What a bastard, huh?
They shot this. Tim. They shot this movie in Alberta, Canada, because during the time of shooting. No, that's not. No. They shot this movie in Alberta, Canada.
There was only one shooting in the whole film.
Yes. This movie was shot in Alberta, Canada because it was way too expensive to shoot the movie in Alaska. Russell Crowe, in his 20s, released several singles. One of them being I Just Want to Be Like Brando, all of which never charted. And this movie completed the sports superfecta for Burt Reynolds, having him in the Big Four: baseball, football, basketball, and hockey.
Okay, first, I'm going to say I believe the Russell Crowe one because I believe he was part of a band. I really am tempted. It sounds too simple, the whole, it was shot in Canada because Alaska's too expensive. But I know that's usually the case. So I'm really looking harshly at the Burt Reynolds superfecta. So the Big Four, you said
baseball.
Football, I know, yep. As long as yard.
Yep.
Baseball, okay, what were the other ones?
Basketball and hockey.
Basketball.
The Big Four sports.
You know what? I'm going to say the Burt Reynolds one is the lie. Because it seems like it should be true, but I bet it's racing movies. Then I would say, yeah, you did racing movies. Stoker race.
You're going Stoker. But the Big Four.
Cannonball Run.
The Big Four.
No, I'm gonna say Burt Reynolds. That's a lie, you naughty boy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it seems like it should be true, but I don't think he did a baseball.
No, he did it. I mean, it's not true.
Yeah. So I'm happy about that. Now, here come your questions. I'm going to. I've got a bunch of them here, and the bolding means nothing. Just so you know.
I don't.
I know you like to be able to read them.
Thank you.
We're going to go with that first one. The composer of the score, Howard Shore, is the father of comedian Pauly Shore. Mm-hmm. Second one I want to use is Anthony Hopkins is Welsh, which by definition means he's in the UK and British.
I don't even know what that question means. Because he's Welsh, it means he
comes from Wales.
Right.
A Welshman is from
Wales.
Wales.
I know, I get that.
That means he's in the United Kingdom and he's British.
Okay.
All right. I knew that get you. And then the last one, which this you'll know immediately, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Tom Cruise is taller than Jodie Foster.
Oh!
So, which is true, or which is false, I should say? Anthony Hopkins is Welsh. Tom Cruise is tall. The composer of the score, Howard Shore, is the father of comedian Pauly Shore. Doot 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 doot. Doodly 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 doot doot.
All right, here we go. This is how this breaks down. He is Sir Anthony Hopkins. He was knighted by the British government.
Yes.
So I think that would make him United Kingdom and British. So, and Wales is part of that whole area there. You have Wales, you have the United Kingdom, and you have Scotland.
You have the Dolphins.
No.
There's Wales,
come on,
Dolphins.
Don't make me sound dumb. I mean, Wales is the hump like the hunchback, and then you have the head, that's Scotland, and then you have the body, which is...
I think our new king, Charles, is Welsh.
Whatever. I don't even know. So. Did they even do that yet? Okay. The composer of the score, Howard Shore, is father to comedian Pauly Shore. And you know what? That is very well possibly true, because it might not be, but it could be. Now, I hope this isn't a stickler like his name was Harry Shore.
No.
But I think this is right because Pauly Shore comes from an entertainment family. Mm-hmm. His mom owns the comedy
store.
The comedy store. And I think his dad. Okay, so but then see you with this Tom Cruise BS. Tom Cruise is taller than Jodie Foster. Now, you sprinkled a little bit of that into the movie review when you said, "Oh yeah, we saw how tall Jodie, how small she was there."
Boy, it's almost like he thinks ahead sometimes when he does his review. That's amazing.
Tom Cruise is not.
I know our chat room right now is going insane.
I know how tall.
The chat room is screaming.
I know how tall Tom Cruise is, and I don't know how tall Jodie Foster is. So I need to figure this out because 1 and 2 are possibly true. 3 is possibly.
What if I just gave you a bunch of true stuff? That would really.
That would suck. I'd automatically win the whole season, and that would be it. You know, I'd be so pissed.
Yeah.
All right.
I also don't want to give you a whole lot of pressure, but if you get it wrong, this tie that we've been going in gets totally screwed up. Oh my God. So much pressure.
The one that's false is Tom Cruise is not taller than Jodie Foster.
Tom Cruise. So you're saying Tom Cruise is shorter than Jodie Foster.
Because this is Tom Cruise is taller, so I'm saying that's false. He is shorter.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Here, I'll do it for you. Yeah. Tom Cruise is 4 inches taller than her, which seems amazing to me.
Which one's the false one, Tim?
The false one is Howard Shore is not the father of Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore's father is a comedian, a comic actor. Howard Shore has done a ton of movie scores. In fact, I used this exact same lie on you in a previous episode.
I'm not pleased right now. I'm not pleased right now.
I had one that was even worse than that, and my brother talked me out of using it.
I'm not pleased. I can't roll with this right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm really not. You're right.
Tim,
all right, so
Tim, why? Do you even know what Pauly Shore's dad's name is?
Sammy.
That's right.
Yeah. Mitzi is his mom.
I don't care.
And
about
she's the one that owns the comedy store. His store. Oh, I said store. I meant score 52 to 46. It's going to be really hard with only 3 innings.
That's what she said.
To come. Actually, I gave you 2 movies in a row that I don't think you're going to like very much. So it's going to be
that
interesting.
sucks. I'm really upset with this trivia. Because you know what? You did that to me before about the taller thing, and I fell for it. I didn't fall for it last time, and that was the false one.
I know now to use height more often.
Damn it.
I know that.
He's 4 inches tall. What is she, like 4'1"?
She's like 5'3" or something like that. And she is diminutive.
She didn't look that small in the movie.
You're like 5'7". No, she looks like a midget.
I didn't think she.
Are we allowed to say midget?
Did I ever tell you my midget
are.
story? I did already.
Yes, you did.
All right.
That story came out during the early seasons.
That was back when I was on the hooch.
On the hooch. All right. Now we just sugar you up for the show.
so I have a little. Oh man, that's 6 points. That's not good.
I honestly, I think you're gonna smush me the next 2 weeks because I know I'm probably gonna like some of the movies you gave me, whereas I know you're gonna dislike next week's and the week following.
Let me just ask you one quick thing about this trivia.
Yeah.
Did you figure that was the one I was going to take? You didn't think I was going to take the Anthony Hopkins one, did you?
Actually, it was the only... Oh, which one you were going to pick?
Yeah, did you
never have any clue. I almost went with the Death Head's Moth one I have here. But the Death Head's Moth is an actual insect that exists in the real world.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. It's a real thing. It does look like a skull too. You should look it up. It's freaky.
You know what? If you would have gave me that one, I probably would have went with the Pauly Shore one because I would have known better, and I'd be like, yeah, there's really a moth like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, good job, Tim.
I'm very pleased that I got you. It was just too tasty to use the same one again. I was like,
why you gave me that same name again before?
Howard Shore.
You gave me that same thing?
We had a different movie where Howard Shore
And you said Pauly Shore?
Yes.
This was.
Yes. I
You gotta
used
be
it
kidding me.
twice on you. I'll look it up after.
Oh my God.
After the show, and I'll
Now
tell you
I feel
which
even
movie
worse.
it was.
I.
That's why I had to do it. I had to do it.
Oh my God.
There was no choice.
Oh my God.
I had no choice
I
in the
feel
matter.
even worse
You know
now.
what time it is? It's time to hype up the next
Yes,
show.
the fan.
The Fan is coming next week, which I think I'm probably going to enjoy,
Guess
but
what?
I've never seen it before.
You haven't? Well, let me just
No.
tell you.
Yeah.
There might be some murder in there.
All right. Well, that might be a crossover film. It looks like it's a little bit horror and a little bit sports. So it might be halfway decent.
There might be cross-dressing
And then
in there, too.
I assign you the entity.
I have no idea what this is going to be.
You have no idea what you're in for.
Is it in color?
And you are going to hate me so hard. It is in color. It's Barbara Hershey, very early in her career, in all her glory.
Wait 1 second. I can see what it says there, or it reads. Does it read based on a true story?
It does.
Oh my God!
What
What else? Wait, what else does it read? A story so shocking, so threatening. Frightening.
It will frighten you beyond all imagination.
Why would
I'll
you do
tell you
this?
this
Why would you do
because
this to me?
I'm going to tell you this because it doesn't spoil anything about the movie. This movie, you remember Channel 18 here locally?
Yep.
At one point, to try to get some ratings late at night, they showed R-rated movies uncut.
Did they really?
Yeah. And this was one of those movies, and I saw it as I must have been either late middle school or early high school, where it was still naughty to see an R-rated movie. And I stayed up. Or did I VHS it? I might have VHS'd it even. And I was scandalized by this film, and it scared me pissless.
Really?
So, yeah.
Stop it, Tim.
You're in for a treat.
Okay, you know what I've been scared by. How is this going to... Well, we'll find out how this compares to The Conjuring and...
I want you, when you're watching a movie, instead of saying tango, don't be too frightened. This is only a movie. This time you'll be saying, this is only the truth. This is the truth. This actually happened.
I don't even know what the entity means. I mean, this is
You're in for a treat, my friend.
I have no idea what I'm getting to here.
You don't, and that's what makes this show so wonderful. We want to thank all the great... What are you doing? Everything's going good, and you start screwing around with the camera. Thank God very few people actually watch this and listen to it instead.
The entity. Oh, my God.
Great movie.
Is it over 2 hours?
I don't know how long it is. I'll be rewatching it very soon. So.
Should I have a Hershey bar while I'm watching this?
You
You know what?
Hershey.
I'm gonna have a Hershey bar when I'm watching it here.
You're gonna have some Hershey.
Anyways,
Some Hershey. She was a very pretty young woman.
we have Halloween coming up, a couple days.
Halloween.
Are you dressed up?
And you see it. This is how. If you want to be a stud during Halloween, you wear your Dead on the Bases t-shirt. I know we got a couple of them out there in our audience. Dead on the Base-ites, as we call them.
Yes, and if
Base-ites.
Huh? What?
What are we going to call fans of the show other than Disturbed?
What? You know what? If you're a fan of the show and you don't have a T-shirt yet, go to Jeff@otherworldlyculture.com or Tim@otherworldlyculture.com.
No, I get enough spam.
Go.
Send it to Jeff.
We'll send you out a T-shirt. I'll autograph it.
The first person. Don't. Otherwise, we're gonna run.
Okay, not the first person. You have to be the 10th person to get an autographed one.
Out. Ooh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You don't get an autographed one. Number 10 does. There you go.
Yeah, we'll see. Somebody's just gonna hit send.
Well-
Because everybody wants one of these. Look at this.
We'll make some money on that deal.
Look, you know, part of what's selling it is it's such a massive stud is modeling it right now. The other one back here.
Bag of bones.
Backboned. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight to our special Halloween edition of Dead on the Bases. It's time to close the crypt and call the game. Oh, right? I need my note. Time to close the crypt and call the game. Thank you all for watching, and remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. You can find the show at otherworldlyculture.com and follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and other fine places you find podcasts. If you don't know where to find it, send an email to Jeff at otherworldlyculture.com.
That's right.
And he will forward it to me, and I'll tell you how to do it. You know, Jeff,
What, Tim?
if it's sports, you call it a home run. If it's horror, you run home! Work that on the bases, and we'll see you next time.
Happy Halloween. That was nice. I can be nice every once in a while.
You know, that was wonderful. I feel warm inside.
We should do a special Halloween edition.
That was it. We just did it.
Now, that's not fair. I would have done a whole bunch of different other things for this.
Well,
I would have had a costume on.
in a year or two, Halloween will land right on Thursday.
Yeah.
We got some planning to do.
I'm gonna get a pumpkin and put a pumpkin hat
I
on.
think season 10.
That's a long way away.
We're going to make it.
Oh, I know.
We're going to make it, baby.
All